I'm here with the Achala family outside Barclay's primary school on a cold Thursday morning. The family here were directly affected by the situation. Young Yahya was taken out of the school because of a perceived Islamophobic sentiments from the school. Assalamu alaikum.
Islam.
Can you tell us and explain the situation with young Yahya? What actually happened?
It's all kind of started around BBC Children in Need Day. So with Yahya, he's lost family members in Gaza. So on this day, he went into school with a sticker on which there was a small bow tie in Palestinian colours.
And I believe that Yahya is also of Palestinian descent.
That's right. My wife's side is from Gaza, and he's lost kind of members of his own family, distant relatives, and friends he's spoken to. So it was for him, it was a show of empathy to remember his dead family members.
What actually happened? What was the reaction of the school to Yahya wearing this lapel?
The sticker was actually removed first thing in the morning, and we received a call that same day that the school were apolitical. We had breached policies, and it was not allowed.
I've seen some of the letters, and a lot of parents have raised this issue and concerns that in regards to the Ukraine crisis, the school actually had a position on that which seemed to be apolitical, but on the Gazan situation, they've changed their policy to apolitical. Do you believe that there's an issue with that?
Oh, absolutely. They've clearly showed double standards. Last year, Yahya was going to school and with a Ukraine badge on. The same teacher allowed him. And he's very confused. He can't understand why at this time he's not allowed to wear a flag of his country. So it's definitely double standards.
What happened after the actual incident itself? Why did you choose to remove Yahya from the school?
It wasn't a choice. It was enforced on us. So Yahya was basically told he would not be welcomed. He would not be allowed back in the school with his coat. He was told he would not be welcome at school tomorrow, and they'd be waiting at the gates for him. And prior to that, there'd been many incidents where he'd been picked on, he'd been bullied by teachers, he'd been targeted.
Can you give us some examples of this?
Yeah, so on Monday he was denied playtime outside. He was isolated from his year group at lunchtime. On another day, he was denied playtimes. He was isolated from his year group. He was taken out of class without explanation. So a senior, I believe it's a deputy head teacher, came into the class without an explanation. Yeah, take your stuff and follow me. He was taken outside the head teacher's office where 7 members of the senior leadership team were meeting to discuss his fate. He was made to sit outside alone for what he describes as a long time. He could hear parts of the conversation, and I think that was done deliberately to frighten him. He was very scared, and he was made to sit alone for quite a long time.
And when you were informed about this situation, obviously that incident happened without your presence. When you invited to discuss the situation with Yahya?
That same day that day when we went to pick Yahya up from school, we discovered that he had been dressed in an adult staff jacket, paraded in the playground for other children and for the school to mock him. And it was designed to kind of emotionally break him. We then were spoken to by senior leadership team members, and we were told in, again, non-sensitive terms, that he would not be welcome back to school. So in effect, they are the ones that have denied him a right to education. It's not a choice of us not sending him to school. They've denied him his right to an education.
Islam Channel have seen some letters from the school itself threatening to take some of the parents to the PREVENT program, which is the government's anti-extremist radicalization program. Did you receive such a letter, and what did you feel about it?
Yeah, we have received it. We felt kind of extremely hurt. It was almost denying a right to show empathy with people that have been killed, to show empathy with the genocide, and to say kind of our empathy with our family members was political, and being warned with a PREVENT referral. It was highly offensive.
Was anyone referred to PREVENT on the back of this incident?
I'm not sure. I'm not aware.
What emotional and psychological impact has this situation had on you as a family, and especially Yahya?
It's had a huge impact. Yahya is, traumatized by the events. He's not the same person he was. And as a family, we've come together to support him as best as we can. And we'll see, we are consulting with lawyers on what step to take next. There has been an internal inquiry, as you may be aware, by the school. This inquiry was led by a senior teacher who has been named in the actual complaint. They've referred to an external inquiry, and in both investigations, both inquiries, they have not spoken to any witnesses, they have not spoken to any parents, they have not spoken to any children. The inquiries have been a farce to try and brush the truth under the carpet and not deal with the issues.
You obviously speak to Yahya a lot. What has he said to you as a child, being 8 years old? What has he said to you about the whole situation?
He feels very hurt. He feels traumatized. He doesn't understand what's going on. He's confused. He can't understand why those who he looked up to, those who he put his trust in, have treated him this way. He feels bullied by the teachers. And he's very upset. I mean, he dearly misses, he's very popular at school, he misses his school friends. And he's very fond of his class teacher, Ms. Zaman. And he really misses her. So a lot of mixed emotions, but...
Your wife mentioned yesterday that you lost a lot of family members in Gaza itself. You're obviously connected to the Gaza situation. Do you believe that the school has denied you your right to show that kind of empathy to the Gaza situation?
Yes, absolutely. I think that is clearly an attempt to suppress any Palestinian solidarity. And they've gone as far as even now removing the expression of someone's cultural symbol from their uniform policy. And that's to suppress, I think, Yahya's right to wear his flag.
Some of the parents have said that and alleged that the policies from the school have been quite systematic over a number of years. We have one parent who alleged that children's prayer breaks were taken away. Children were allowed to fast during the month of Ramadan, which is very important to Muslims. Have you experienced this kind of sentiments from the school?
Yes, we have. I mean, we've been parents at this school for about 10 years, and we have noticed since Justin James, the head teacher, has taken over, there's been a series of allegations of discrimination, of Islamophobia, from the ban on fasting to children not being allowed to pray, and to kind of...
Why were the children not allowed to pray, and why were they not allowed to fast? What was the reasoning behind that?
Right, okay, so I understand with regards to the praying, a parent was told by, I think it was a deputy head teacher, you can bring a petition signed by as many people as you want. We are not going to change our policy. And I don't know what policy they have which prevents Muslim children from praying. But we're talking about a school which has a Muslim child population of 70 to 80%. And to actually say, we don't care how many petitions you bring, we're not going to allow you. It's clearly Islamophobic. Discriminatory. We demand a resignation of the head teacher. I think he has to go.
Now, what is your allegations against Lion Academy, who run Barclay School and many other schools, and one of them being the Zionist Academy? Do you think there's any kind of connection or link between the status of the school and running those particular kind of school and aligning themselves with the state of Israel? Is there any kind of margin or any kind of connection in those issues?
Yeah, I have seen the reports about the connection of one of the trustees with a Zionist Jewish organization, which shows kind of IDF soldiers with guns sending a message to that school. I'm not suggesting there is any kind of connection there, and I'd rather not come in there.
Okay. And finally, what's the way forward? Would Yahya be going back to school? And what do you think of this protest that people have organised in solidarity with Yahya and your family?
Yeah, we're very happy that kind of the community has come forward. There's people of all different faiths, of colours. And as a community, we kind of appreciate the support they've shown for us as a family and for Yahya.
So would you be sending him back to school, or would you be homeschooling him?
As it stands, we are kind of homeschooling Yahya because we believe he has been denied education. The school have not reached out to us to address any of our concerns that have been mentioned in our formal complaint, and until that is kind of resolved, unless they kind of welcome him back to school with a plan, a safeguarding plan, and he won't be returning.